Hello and welcome to ITV News Central. On the programme tonight, midwives' failings are proven in the case of a baby who died at just a day old.
A council is fined £300,000 after a man was killed by a falling tree as he walked on a public footpath.
The little donkey who's no longer wonky thanks to the perfect Christmas present.
So he doesn't see it as something horrible. He's already, it's his precious.
Do you want to follow me this way? Come this way, come this way. I'm just going up to the stage, it's this way. Follow me.
Plus, there's nothing like a panto dame. We meet the actor playing Mrs. Smee in Peter Pan at the Lichfield Garrick.
And if our weather story was a book, by turning the page, would it become more dramatic? Join me later, and I'll let you know.
Good evening. Failings have been found against two midwives from Shropshire's main hospital trust at a fitness to practice hearing today. Claire Roberts and Joanna Young both worked for Shrewsbury and Telford Hospital Trust in April 2016 and dealt with Kaylee and Colin Griffiths, whose daughter Pippa sadly died the day after being born.
Well, Pippa's case was one of the two which first prompted an independent review into the maternity crisis there, which is now dealing with almost 2,000 cases and is the subject of a police investigation. Charlotte Cross reports.
There are hundreds of cases of alleged poor maternity care currently under investigation at Shrewsbury and Telford Hospital Trust. But it started with the deaths of just two babies, Kate Stanton Davis, who died in 2009, and Pippa Griffiths in 2016. And today, two of the midwives who dealt with Pippa faced the Nursing and Midwifery Council with 14 charges of misconduct between them.
It's been a difficult process, yeah, it has. There doesn't seem to have been any part of it that has been made any easier, I guess. It's been really challenging and quite a stressful process, actually.
Among the charges found proved against midwife Joanna Young was that she failed to carry out a comprehensive assessment of Pippa's condition and that she did not follow an instruction from a senior midwife to visit the next day. Against Claire Roberts, the panel found that she failed to recognise the urgency of medical attention needed. They also found she'd made an inaccurate record of a phone call with Kaylee when she rang after noticing warning signs that Pippa was unwell. And the final charge states, your conduct was dishonest in that you knowingly intended to create a misleading impression of the mother's concerns.
It's still bittersweet, isn't it? No matter what the outcome is, really.
We're still facing our fifth Christmas now without Pippa, and it doesn't get any easier. When a mother does call up in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning with concerns,
they need to be taken seriously.
Absolutely. Yeah. Listen to that mother and just get her to come in. Even if, it's a different hospital, get her to come in, get her seen, get the baby seen, because it's better to be safe than having a baby missing at Christmas.
Both the midwives have now left the trust, and today their Director of Nursing said, we recognise our previous failures in the standard of care offered to mothers and babies, for which we have apologised unreservedly. And we're committed to taking all of the steps necessary to improve the safety and quality of care that we provide to the women and families we serve. In the final stage of the hearing, the panel will discuss whether the findings mean they're no longer fit to practice. That has been adjourned until March, as has the final report from the independent review. Meanwhile, a police investigation into the allegations of poor care at the Trust is also underway. So while today was a big step forward in Kaylee and Colin's battle for justice and for answers for Pippa, there's still a long way to go. Charlotte Cross, ITV News.
A report into a hospital trust in Staffordshire has found that a third of staff say they've been bullied or abused by their managers. Inspectors from the Care Quality Commission visited the Royal Stoke Hospital, University Hospital and the County Hospital.
They found there weren't enough doctors in A&E and the trust wasn't fulfilling its legal requirements. However, it said it was outstanding in one area. Staff were compassionate and kind. Mark Goff reports.
The report by the Care Quality Commission acknowledges that things have improved at the University Hospitals of North Midlands Trust since the last inspection in 2019. Inspectors visited in August and October of this year, and while they say medical care has gone up from requires improvement to good, and that care here is outstanding, they still have concerns. They found that the A&E department didn't always have enough staff to care for patients and keep them safe. Staff didn't always comply with recommended practice on infection control, and there were delays in patients being handed over. And a survey of staff found that more than 31% had been bullied, harassed or abused by their managers. But the report praised staff, saying they were compassionate and kind despite the added workload they've had to take on as a result of the pandemic. Ian Syme is from the local health campaign group.
I'm concerned about the safe requires improvement, efficient requires improvement, and there are some fundamentals. There are 9 must do and they're legal requirements that a hospital must do.
These include having enough qualified staff on duty, assessing patients within 15 minutes of arrival, and ensuring patients are kept safe from infection. Today, Tracy Bullock, the Chief Executive of the Trust, said, "I'm delighted that the hard work and commitment of our staff has been recognised to be rated outstanding for caring whilst managing the changes and pressures during the COVID-19 pandemic is a fantastic achievement and a true testimony to their dedication and compassion." We've made some significant improvements since the Care Quality Commission's last inspection, she said, and we're pleased the inspectors found many areas of outstanding practice. The Trust has already begun to recruit more than 30 new doctors to work in the emergency department. Mark Goff, ITV News, Stoke-on-Trent.
Staffordshire County Council has been fined £300,000 after a man was killed by a falling tree on a public footpath near a cemetery in Stafford.
Neville Scattergood suffered a fatal cardiac arrest after being hit by the branch of an oak tree. At the time, it was described as a freak accident. George Hancorn reports.
He was just out walking his dog along a popular footpath. Neville Scattergood from Staffordshire was 58 when he died after being hit by a falling tree in October 2019. A loss his family say that will be felt for the remainder of their lives. Staffordshire County Council, which owns the trail, has now been fined £300,000 after admitting breaching health and safety laws. Yesterday, those at North Staffordshire Justice Service heard that while the authority had systems in place to ensure the safety of trees on public highways, the tree that struck Mr Scattergood had been left off an inspection list due to administrative mistakes. That meant no inspection had taken place for at least a decade before the accident. In a statement, the County Council told ITV Central, "We'd like to offer our sincere condolences to the family and friends of Mr Scattergood and apologise unreservedly for the authority's shortcomings in this case." Following this terrible incident, we have reviewed our systems of checks and maintenance planning and done all we can to improve it. But one expert told us this could have been prevented.
I don't think we should be at all surprised. There are failings made. This is completely avoidable.
Those in the field say authorities should be carrying out regular checks on trees every few years, especially after adverse weather.
We need to be able to provide the public a safe environment if we're inviting them onto our land.
A donation page was set up by friends and family in 2019 to raise funds for Neville's funeral. He was remembered shortly afterwards, with over £5,000 donated by loved ones. George Hancorn, ITV News.
A 3-year-old girl is in a critical condition in hospital after a car hit a fence and rolled over in Yardley in Birmingham. It happened last night on Church Road just before 10:30. The driver, a 22-year-old woman, was arrested on suspicion of causing serious injury by dangerous driving and remains in custody.
3 areas in the West Midlands are now in the running to be granted city status. Dudley, Warwick and Ulster in Warwickshire are among 39 places in the UK that have the chance to be awarded the status next year. It's to mark the Queen's Jubilee and the outcome is due to be announced in spring.
Now, later on this evening, ITV's Tonight programme will look at the efforts of countless volunteers, carers, NHS staff and others who are doing their best to provide some sort of normality for families during such uncertain times.
Mental health experts are also urging us to check in on loved ones to prevent loneliness and isolation, as Matt Price reports.
She's made her list and checked it more than twice. Jeanette Walsh, or at this time of year Mother Christmas, is here making 800 parcels for teenagers who grew up in care.
I've got rather a lot to do. So we have them for boys and girls. Some deodorant.
But this generosity, this commitment to help, comes from her own childhood experience.
I went to a children's home the day before I was 6. Christmas Eve, Father Christmas would go down ringing this bell, and obviously I'd never seen anything like it in all my life. And then they said, this is a gift for you that somebody's given. I can't put into words how it made me feel.
Jeanette is one of a number of people giving up their time or working over Christmas for the good of others, be it helping those feeling lonely or isolated, to charities providing a bed for the night. Last year, over 2,500 people were counted as sleeping on the streets in the UK. Pauline's pub was forced to close during the lockdowns, but she's opened the doors as a community hub.
The community places where people could go for free meals or for free food or for support, they'd obviously shut down as well. So we had to find a way of doing it and being able to do it COVID safely. January, February, March are really hard months for the homeless guys because it's cold, it's dark, we tend to get the frost and so this becomes life-saving rather than a support thing at that point.
In recent weeks, the COVID Omicron variant has taken a firm grip. Restrictions are tightening once again. A&E doctor Alex George campaigns to raise awareness of mental health.
Christmas is one of those times where people expect that they need to be perfect and happy, but actually, if we're honest, Christmas is very hard for some people. Try your best to look around you, not just about your family, but look around you. Who can you reach out to? How can you improve other people's day? Is it being kind? Is it saying hello to someone when you're walking down the street and making the effort, because you never know what someone's going through or how alone they might feel.
Jeanette's shoeboxes are ready to be dropped off, a small gift which can make the world of difference. Even during the toughest times, it is reassuring to know that there are those determined to bring at least a little cheer. Matt Price, ITV News.
A fundraiser from Whittington in Staffordshire has received royal recognition from the Duchess of Cambridge for his random acts of kindness.
We wanted to say a huge thank you to all those amazing people out there who've supported their communities. We also wanted to recognise those whose struggles perhaps have been less visible too.
Her Royal Highness was speaking ahead of a community concert held for pandemic heroes, and Sebi Hall was part of it. He has speech and physical difficulties and has raised almost £40,000 through random acts of kindness throughout the pandemic. The money raised is going towards disadvantaged and disabled young people to give them things like laptops.
Sebi was the only person at the Royal Carol Service to represent
Staffordshire.
Absolutely, and that was really exciting. So Seb was the only member of Staffordshire there to represent the county. So it was a real, just amazing opportunity, and we couldn't really tell anyone at the start, could we? So you were itching to tell your friends that you had to have time off college, but then you were able to tell them eventually, weren't you? It was amazing, incredible. Sebi was so excited because, Sebi, what was your favourite thing about the trip to see the
Crown Jewels?
And you really love the Crown Jewels, don't you? One of Sebi's favourite things is the Crown Jewels. So when he heard that he was going to meet William and Kate, William and Kate, who may one day wear the Crown Jewels, you were really excited, weren't you? It was incredible, amazing. How do you feel, Seb, that the Duchess of Cambridge thanked you for all your kindness by inviting you to a royal event? How do you feel about that?
The happy inside.
It's made you feel happy inside.
Yeah.
There we go. Happy inside.
That's made me happy inside hearing about it.
Absolutely. Good on Sebby, flying the flag there for Stafford. And you can watch Royal Carols together at Christmas. That's tomorrow night from 7:30 on ITV.
Now, there's always a story, isn't there, that gets us talking all day. And I think it's this one. This is the one. Now, a donkey from Worcestershire who has lived his whole life on a slant has been straightened up this week. 9-year-old Tommy was born with a deformed front right leg, and the way he was walking was actually damaging his health.
Yes, the team of prosthetics experts who have now made him a new limb are actually more used to working with Paralympic athletes and traffic accident victims. But this creation has given Tommy a new lease of life, as Callum Watkinson reports.
Come on. Over, Tom.
Born with a deformed front leg, Tommy the donkey from Hillside in Worcestershire has been given a very special Christmas present. The first prosthetic limb ever made for an animal like him. It's life-changing and life-saving, because the gait he had developed was slowly destroying him.
He's literally been standing on the left leg, so he's overdeveloped the left shoulder, and then he's just all the muscles on the right side have wasted. It's not only about the limbs though. If the legs are moving properly, the chest is moving properly, he's breathing properly, there's less pressure on the heart. When quadrupeds move, the diaphragm should swing backwards and forwards, so you get massaging of the gut, so you get better digestion, but you get the lungs filling and emptying passively.
The prosthetic specialists who made Tommy's legs started, as they often do, with a plaster cast. Though they are more used to working with Paralympic athletes than donkeys.
The challenge with an animal is the feedback loss. You know, you don't get that same communication pathway that you can get with a patient. So with a patient, it's like, how does it feel? They tell you how it feels, you know. With a donkey, you can look at them and you can ask them how it feels, but the reality is that, you know, there's nothing other than, you know, that he might trot off or take a few steps, and you see that as a real positive.
Tommy is also having laser therapy to build his muscle as he gets used to the new limb, which he has already become quite fond of.
I'm absolutely amazed at how well this has gone. He doesn't want the thing taken off in the evening, but obviously you have to, because you need to let the tissues breathe and you need to clean the prosthetic. But it's fantastic that he's already got an attachment to it, so he doesn't see it as something horrible. He's already, it's his precious.
Best friend Bobby is cleaner now that Tommy can pull his weight at bath time. Not so long ago, it was far from certain his stablemate could even survive. Thanks to the new leg, though, this little donkey can keep on plodding on for many a Christmas to come. Callum Watkinson, ITV News.
One to make you smile, isn't it? Lovely.
If you're not smiling, you've got no heart. It's as simple as that.
Now, this should make you smile, because we're right in the middle of Panto season, and here in the West Midlands, as you already know, we've got some amazing talent keen to entertain you. After a washout season last year, our favourite Panto dames are back. They're larger than life and they're loving it.
Yeah, Jane Hesketh has been to meet Mrs. Smee, who's starring in the all-new adventures of Peter Pan at the Garrick Theatre in Lichfield.
1, 2, 3! Yes, she likes to make an entrance, does Mrs. Smee. She's sailing the high seas this Christmas in Captain Hook's pirate ship, looking for Peter Pan. The man who brings her vividly to life is Sam Raybone from Sutton Coldfield. He explained to me backstage how he became a panto dame.
I fell into it. There's not many people that can say they fell into being a pantomime dame, but I did it Amdram once, and I discovered that because I've got this sort of odd-sounding voice, it suited being in a frock.
And we're off! All aboard the fun bus, next stop Laughter City. Ding ding.
There's a lot of us that are career dames and spend most of our year planning what we're going to do for Christmas. So, yeah, I became a career dame, but there's nothing funnier than a fat man in a dress, really. You can all be part of the joke and laugh at us, which you can't do with many other things these days. So it's nice to be still able to be laughed at and enjoyed for what we do.
Becoming Mrs. Smee takes some effort. She is, after all, high maintenance. But with the help of his dresser, Sam manages to become her twice a day, 6 days a week, and 3 times on a Saturday.
We're ready! Do you want to follow me this way? Come this way, come this way. We're just going up to the stage. It's this way, follow me. Come this way. Go up, come here, quick, here we go. Oh, we'll do some anti-backing, because we're staying safe. Here we go.
The show features all the favourite characters. Naughty Tinkerbell.
What have you been up to, Tink?
Oh, I've been very busy going backwards and forwards between Dover and Calais.
Dover and Calais?
Yes, I'm a cross-channel ferry.
The irascible Captain Hook and his pirates. And, of course, a flying Peter Pan. But it's Mrs. Smee that is the show's driving force.
Mrs. Smee is Captain Hook's right-hand woman. She's not a bad pirate. She wants to be good. And she just enjoys a laugh and a joke. And a lot of the time it's on Captain Hook's expense.
Do you like my jacket, Mrs. Smee? It's satin.
Satin, sir? Looks more like it's been slept in.
So where does he get his inspiration for Mrs. Smee?
It's my grandma embodied. She moved from Birmingham down to Poole before I was born. And she just was one of the funniest older ladies. Battle axe, enjoyed food, enjoyed grub and enjoyed a chat.
Well, hello, boys and girls, mums and dads, aunts and uncles, single-parent families, step-families, extended families and alternative family units. Vaxxers, anti-vaxxers, vegans, vegetarians and flexitarians. You know, the list gets longer every year, but the good news is you're all welcome here at the Lichfield Garrick Pantomime.
I like her.
She's very funny. She has all the best lines, doesn't she?
Yeah, well, she is a true pantomime dame. Very good.
Oh, I think it's amazing. It's really, really good, yeah. I think the adult humour is amazing as well. So.
It's a great day out. It's really local, and what's absolutely fantastic as well is that we're still able to do this as well.
Time now for the show to go on. They'll be performing Peter Pan here until the 2nd of January. Jane Hesketh, ITV News, Lichfield.
Oh, I love it. Makes me happy every time. Now, who's behind you?
Here we go.
You knew it was coming.
Right. Sorry, was that too... Anyway, let's go to Neverland, shall we? And get some good weather, Des.
Yes, I will answer the question in the forecast as to whether we are going to get any snow or not. And I'll do that just after this.
Making the most of it, whatever the weather. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Central Weather.
Yes, it's Thursday, the 23rd of December, and the great news is we can already see Santa on his way delivering the presents. But what is our weather story of the next 48 hours? Well, tonight, certainly, we're going to see some mist and fog, the return of some mist and fog. But before we talk about what's happening with our weather, take a look at this beautiful picture that's been sent in by Dave. Thank you very much indeed. Now, pushing forward into the next 48 hours, whereas it has been high pressure dominating our weather, it is low pressure now. The high pressure did act like a blocking high, actually, stopping these frontal systems from sweeping in, but that's moved out of the way. So the next couple of days, we've got these weather fronts that do contain rain. So yes, it's looking fairly damp, but it's also looking fairly mild. Look at the direction of wind coming up from the south. Always a warm direction to get our air from. So heading into the overnight story, we'll see the sky starting to clear. It's mainly a dry night, but as the skies clear, some mist and fog patches are going to develop as temperatures dip down to around 5 to 7 degrees. 6 and 7 degrees should be the average daytime temperature at this stage in the year. Waking up tomorrow morning, it's a dry start, bit of a murky start, low cloud, mist and fog patches around, and it's there for a good part of the day. Again, the cloud thick enough for some drizzle before this feature starts pushing in. Heavier rain and stronger winds by the time we get to the close of the day. Top temperatures tomorrow are stunning 10 degrees. Some Christmas facts to lay on you. The warmest Christmas day was 15.6 degrees in Devon. That was 100 years ago, back in 1920. And the coldest Christmas day, minus 18, all the way back in 1878. Our Christmas is looking cloudy, damp, but mild.
Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Central Weather.
So, the weather's not massively Christmassy, but let's go back to talking panto, shall we? You will like this, Des, because Steve...
Yes?
We've got a bit of footage to show everybody. Shall we roll it?
Oh dear. I mean...
So...
yes. Do you want the story?
Go on then.
I was invited, and it was a one-hit wonder. That's how good I was. They didn't get me back again. To be a panto dame in one show for ITV, and there I am. And what do we think, Des? What do you make of me?
What do I think? Well, I think that's how you normally look when you come into work anyway. You know what I mean? And Steve's he has the makeup to make him look the way he looks right now. I think you look absolutely fantastic. Have you got a girdle underneath there?
Yeah, hold it. Yeah. There's a lot of layers under there. Let me put it that way. Look at the huge crowd loving it.
Well, did you get booed or cheered?
I got a bit of both.
Did you?
No, they were very good. They were very kind to me. And the advice they gave me, because I think I was camping it up, if you will. Okay. And they said, you just be a man in a dress, and they'll find that funnier.
Okay, yeah.
So you didn't?
So I camped it up. I clamped it up anyway.
You did exactly the opposite.
I love that. See what he did there? He clamped it up.
Yes. So, OK, only a few seconds left to go. So, Des, have a lovely Christmas.
Thank you very much
and
indeed.
You, Steve.
Thank you. Oh, can I just mention, Lucy Capacity, who's producing this, is doing the late 10 to 11. I wish her well.
She's a good egg, yeah. Lovely. Have a lovely Christmas. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.